So let's get started. My name is Dolores Morales. I am honored to serve as your CEMA president. I work for the probation department.
Hi, I'm Carla Collins. I'm very proud to be your senior vice president, and I'm in the county exec's office in the Division of Equity and Social Justice, overseeing the Office of Gender-Based Violence Prevention.
Good morning, everybody. I am Lawrence Arias. I'm proud, humbled, and honored to be your elected executive board vice president. I'm a business systems analyst for TSS Financial and Employee Systems. I'm assigned at DTAC, Department of Tax and Collections. Thank you for being here.
Hi, welcome everyone. I'm Donna Mensimer. I'm your elected CEMA secretary, and I am an administrative support officer at Roads and Airports. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Piazzo. I'm your CEMA treasurer. I am an IT manager at the Health and Hospital System, assigned in the Facilities Department.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jesse Castaneda. I work at Valley Medical Center's emergency room.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mary Beth Rogers. I am a management analyst out in social services for foster care, and I am a CEMA Executive Board member at large, your newest member at large.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. I'm Robin Rivas Romano. I work at the Social Services Agency in Central Services, and this is my second term as a CEMA member at large.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Laura Romero, and I'm the Superior Court Representative, and I work at the Santa Clara County Facilitator's Office, the South House Center.
Thank you, Laura. My name is Zedfeldman. I'm the Senior Business Representative for CEMA OE3. Welcome. Good morning. Thank you for spending some time with us.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Adam Cole. I'm your second CEMA Business Representative.
Hello, everyone. This is Nancy Rocha. I'm CEMA OE3 and OE3 Office Admin.
So to say that 2020 was a year unlike any other is really a gross understatement, especially for public servants. And we want to take a moment to acknowledge some of what we've been through and all that we are still very much in the middle of. Now, most of us started 2020 with great hope and a laser focus on better working conditions and a fair contract. And in the face of crisis and chaos, CEMA members did what we always do. We worked hard to keep things in order, not just for us, but for those we serve, for the most vulnerable in our community. And so we kept things going. We kept going through hard things like 521's rolling strike, and good things like our incredible negotiations team securing our incredible contract. And then came March, and we kept doing what we do despite more crisis and chaos. We kept going even while sheltering in place. In what Miguel Marquez refers to as the professional challenge of our careers, CEMA has answered the call. Now, some of us were deployed and immediately shifted to emergency operations, while others just kept the course, and many did so by quickly navigating telework, and not just regular telework, but for many of us with new school-age colleagues by our side all day and all night. And then weeks became the days, they became weeks, and weeks became more weeks, and they became months. And the global pandemic gave rise to an economic crisis, and both loom overhead and overshadow and impact every single joy we might have and deepen every sorrow. Now, this professional challenge has become deeply personal for so many of us. And even 325 days later, there are moments that can be unbearable. Pain and loss that is simply too cruel for words, and a weariness from it all that we could never have imagined 11 months ago. And we still have a long way to go. And so I say all of this to acknowledge that even with some really good things that happened, some of us welcomed new life into the world. We still have our jobs when so many others do not. We held national elections and democracy won. And yet life keeps happening even when it feels like time stands still. Many of us kept going despite having lost loved ones of our own or falling ill ourselves. Many have felt nothing short of helpless amidst all this suffering. So what is clear is that there is no new normal because there was nothing normal about last year, and truly nothing was easy in 2020. And we want to acknowledge all this and thank each of you for all that you do, because CEMA members are amazing. And as we hope to share with you in this hour, we have accomplished much despite the absolute impossible circumstances. And we want you to know that your CEMA family is working hard to get us through the recovery that honors the hard work of all our CEMA members. And now Adam's going to highlight just a few of these challenges for further context.
Thank you, Carla. You're absolutely right. It's been a year with new challenges for both individual CEMA members and for CEMA as a union. But these are challenges that we've met and overcome. Our challenges began last year. As everyone recalls, we had a long and fraught negotiation session. CEMA's bargaining team had to contend with an intransigent county negotiating team. Additionally, our push and then success for pension parity was targeted by a fellow union. However, these were challenges that we overcame. Members in CEMA stood together as they never have before and advocated for themselves. We had 3 repeating record turnouts of CEMA members at the Board of Supervisors, filling the board chambers with a sea of maroon. We had record numbers of members participate in email writing campaigns, and as a result of this advocacy, CEMA achieved the best contract in the county during the last bargaining cycle. And this was success that we achieved only in the final weeks before the pandemic, lockdown, and budget crisis hit all of us. There were no breaks last year. COVID and then a raging fire season have required CEMA members to be flexible and work in new ways. We've seen hundreds of our members deployed as DSWs, from those working at the fairgrounds, to those working at the hotels, to those working on mobile vaccination. Meanwhile, those members who have not been deployed have taken on additional work and duties and kept the county running. CEMA members have been regularly recognized by county executives and by the Board of Supervisors as going above and beyond their duty and as the glue that has held the county together during this crisis. If there's a silver lining to this last year, I think few of us in January of 2020 could have expected that by 2021, the county would have adopted telework and remote work as quickly as they have. Though this hasn't been easy. While the majority of CEMA members are working from home now, it's required adaptation to learn new skills and new abilities. CEMA's adapted to implementing Zoom site meetings promptly that have been better attended than our previous on-site meetings were. Additionally, we've increased CEMA's YouTube channel presence to provide recorded content, trainings, and site meetings that can be viewed at members' convenience. This has been a year of challenges for all of us, but CEMA and its members have adapted and thrived. Our president, Dolores Morales, will speak a little more about the political and structural progress that we've made this last year.
Thank you, Adam. Just to add a little bit more on our contract, Adam shared the increased communication and visual presence, which is extremely important because it demonstrates strength and unity. CEMA members are essential and are visible in the county, not only in their work functions, but also in their community contributions. One of my proudest moments in the union was seeing the 300 members show up at the board. This action and membership involvement had lasting impressions on county leadership and the Board of Supervisors. It further demonstrated that CEMA is not invisible. We are organized, and the second or third, depending on numbers, which is important, is the largest in the county. Our members value their roles, their contributions, and they demand to be heard. Through our parent union, Local Operating Engineers, and OE3 International, our lobbyists created memos and arranged meetings with our political partners at the local and state level to extend their support for our contract. That impact resulted in a better relationship with other unions without sacrificing our contract results. On the political front, you know that political advocacy is extremely important to our organization, not just for the 3 votes, but the impact that local and state and federal actions affect our funding and our rights. CEMA was able to secure an e-board position on the South Bay Labor Council, which represents 100 unions with over 100,000 members. In addition, we're also participating through OE3 in several ADEM elections throughout the state of California. We also participated with OE3 in the presidential campaign in Reno, phone banking in Georgia, and several other local and county races. From an infrastructure perspective, the CEMA Executive Board and our membership approved revisions in our bylaws, which identified and clearly defined our roles and allowed for more stability. We were also able to conduct electronic voting which is very helpful during a pandemic. And we did a lot of cleanup language. Thinking about the future, CEMA also conducted interest-based bargaining for not only the board, but the negotiating team and our membership. This will help with succession planning. CEMA also has 93 out of 111 members, about 84% that are part of the courts. Now, to hear from some of our court membership highlights, here's Laura Romero.
Thank you very much, Dolores. When Superior Court experienced a budget deficit resulting from COVID, members faced possible layoffs. In June of 2020, CEMA secured layoff protection for all county CEMA members, court CEMA members, by spearheading a coalition with SEIU in negotiations with Superior Court. The largest union in Superior Court, Skippy, chose not to join our coalition. As a result, they lost approximately 48 members to layoff. CEMA succeeded in reaching a net savings of $3.5 million to trigger layoff protection for all CEMA court employees. CEMA's goal in negotiating with Superior Court were driven by membership feedback via a survey that was sent to each member. An overwhelming number of our members, over 90%, asked that CEMA focus on preventing layoffs and making layoffs a last resort in addressing the budget shortfall. CEMA was able to deliver on this request. Following on the heels of successful contract negotiations with Superior Court in August of 2019, CEMA also negotiated a new and more expansive telecommute policy to secure telecommute options for the vast majority of court CEMA members. Our business representative, Zedfeldman, will now talk about county CEMA accomplishments for 2020.
Thank you, Laura. Zedfeldman, Senior Business Rep for CEMA. 2020 has been a year of firsts that you can be proud of. CEMA has achieved the best contract in both units in more than 30 years. We've increased attendance at site meetings to record levels. We've gone virtual, I'm afraid by force, and we've begun recording site meetings, PD events, and educational videos like this one to our YouTube, with a typical site meeting recording getting about 75 views and our most popular video getting over 1,000. We've used surveys, organizing power, and financial and political relationships to craft a contract with the money and priorities that you wanted. How do I know you wanted it? Because we've also had more survey participants than ever in our history. Across our many surveys over the past year, more than 4,000 respondents have participated in everything from contract priorities, budget strategy, to VSIP or voluntary separation incentive program and more. I'm also pleased to report that we've had record turnout in our voting, with more than 1,200 voters participating in our contract ratification and bylaws approval, and that just goes up by another 90 if we include the court unit. I'm proud to share that this record-setting participation has led to better results for us as a board and institution and staff because we know what you want, and also for you because the contracts we negotiate are more reflective of your priorities. For a moment, I'd like to turn our attention to VSIP, or Voluntary Separation Incentive Program. At the court, Laura already spoke on what we achieved at the court. At the county, we had employees that were compensated for 12 pay periods of salary, roughly 3 months, to leave the county. This program was informed by our surveys you took and was part of our goal of achieving voluntary savings rather than mandatory ones, meaning where the employer enforces something on us. The county faced a budget deficit of about $320 million, and 141 of our members chose to take VSIP. Our VSIPs, coupled with other bargaining units, realized approximately $100 million in savings for the county. So that reduced the budget shortfall from about 320 to about 220 million after VSIP. Of course, the budget's still in flux, and we don't know the final numbers of what we're going to face as the coming budget season emerges. But the savings were immense, and it saved everyone else still here from more cuts and more layoffs. Something else that I want to talk about is layoff mitigation. So this is something that CEMA provides. It's a service we do. Laura shared in the court that we were able to shield our members there from layoff with a negotiated target number for voluntary cuts, which we achieved. In the county, we didn't have such a number where if we reached these savings, we would get guaranteed layoff protection. So we had to lobby the board. With your help, we authored white papers and educated county leadership, that's execs, board of supervisors, administrators, on the consequences of cutting departments case by case. We successfully saved integrated pest management and intergovernmental affairs, reduced several others in offices. However, I'm sad to report we did fail with the assessor's office. There were also very limited cuts in TSS and SSA. In total, 11 CEMA members will be moved as a result of the budget cuts, but I'm pleased to share that nobody will go out of the door as a result. So they're going to be able to claim other positions. So while addressing targeted layoffs during the budget cycle, we were also able to address a broader CEMA strategy towards the budget, which is something we're undergoing right now. And that turns me to the budget strategy. We're meeting right now with every board member on the Board of Supervisors, and we're also stressing at labor management meetings the CEMA message, which is we can no longer do more with less. Many of you may hear execs talking about more with less, and if you do, tell them, if we cut 10 people from our unit, we will have to reduce the following services too. We got to make it specific and we have to make it real. Point out in your bureau or division what will be left undone. It's not more with less, it's less than less. Our message to the Board of Supervisors has been the same, less with less. When the employer faces staff shortages, there are 4 things that it can typically do. And this is the message we're carrying to the board and we're carrying at labor management meetings. 1 is to add more staff hours. That's largely closed to us because of budgetary constraints. 2 is to work longer and harder. We're carrying the message this is not possible to us because we're salaried, we're already working more than our 40 hours a week that's typical, and we're already looking at burnout issues. Another possibility is to work smarter. That means streamlining, optimizing. There's opportunity for this, but it's around the edges. It's where we can maybe use technology, maybe there's some synergies between departments, but it's really around the fringes of the budget. It's not going to solve a $220 million budget deficit. So that leaves us with the last item that employers respond to a loss of staff hours with, which is lower service levels. That means it's an unpopular discussion, but it means we have to be real about what are we going to reduce and what are we going to eliminate. So far, we're seeing really positive traction with this message on the Board of Supervisors as we discuss less with less and alert them to be, them meaning the board, to be skeptical of budget documents claiming that a reduction of 20 staff will have no impact to service levels. It's simply disingenuous. CEMA has laid the groundwork over the prior decade with the Board of Supervisors by being credible, knowledgeable, and consistent. And now we're using that reputation and relationship to shield you all and the public from the worst cuts to the greatest extent possible. Your union is doing great work. You can help by volunteering for some of the many committees you're going to hear about in a few moments. I'd like to hand you over now to our treasurer, Jim Piazzo, who will talk about the financials. Jim.
Thank you, Zeb. I'm Jim Piazzo, your CEMA treasurer. I got to tell you about how CEMA gets its funding and how we support you, our members, with that funding. Have you seen from the previous slides and comments from all our people that those accomplishments and excellent support could not have happened without your dues. Your dues provide for all the services and support that your CEMA union provides you, such as infrastructure, CEMA webpage, network, email, communications, committee expenses like the PD event, good guest speakers, and other things that the different committees provide. Also pays for the OE3, the excellent OE3 support and affiliation we have with OE3, such as the staffing, our business reps, Zeb and Adam and Nancy, admin support. We need other support outside of that. The office space, our CEMA office space, the power, the insurance to run the office space, workman's comp, all the infrastructure that goes along with running any office space or business. And heaven forbid, legal fees and court costs. OE3 provides that. So these are key things that OE3 gives to us. We're also the largest affiliate with OE3, so that gives us some power also within them, and they support us quite well. in many areas. OE3 lobbying efforts, and the larger member support when we need to go to local or state or federal areas. OE3 brings that to you, our members here in CEMA, that extra push when we need to really get the word out. CEMA also has its own internal budget that comes out of this to focus on our local and unique political engagements. So let me get to some of the numbers. CEMA has income stats. Basically, we get our funding from our members, the dues. Basically, we have 1,732 members. That's 1,639 in the county, 93 in the court. There's $37 per pay period, about $64,000 a month in 26 pay periods. Gives us about $1.6 million of income each year. That income goes out and pays for the bills to support you, support our members. OE3 affiliation, it's about $32 per pay period. So it's about $1.4 million that we give OE3 over the year. Or excuse me, 1.4 million, excuse me. We have an operational budget of about $200K of CEMA operations. That's basically unique CEMA items to support you that are basically within CEMA that OE3 affiliation does not provide for. And then it's directly to support the representation of CEMA interests, political donations, meetings of board and other elected officials, training events. All those things is what that $200K goes towards. So the bottom line, the numbers and how it rolls, is income is about 1.6 million. Expenses to OE3 is 1.4 million. In the bank right now, we have $1.3 million, which includes $256,000 for reserves. The reserves are there in case we have an emergency. Everybody, we talked about layoffs and other things that happen, pandemic or other things where CEMA needed to step up. Those reserves are help us to keep the continuity of the union and in support of our members. That's what the reserves are about. And it's also written in our bylaws so that we're covering that. So there are a lot of things that your dues come through and pay for to make sure that we're providing excellent support for you, our members. Other things that I do as a treasurer is I make sure that we have the contract, for business improvement, policies, expenditure tracking, approval process, other things that we're doing at the board level to make sure that we're accounting all of this information and have checks and balances so that we're making sure we're spending our money correctly in support of our members. I also take care of, as a union, we have government filings, PAC, California state corporate filings, and other things that must be supplied to make sure we, as a union, are compliant with state and federal and local laws. With that said, and all that information, I'd like to turn this back over to Dolores, our president, to talk about the other committees that our dues and everything help fund and support.
Thank you, Jen, and great work. I'm going to have the committee chairs let you know of some of the opportunities to get involved. Most of the committees meet monthly, so if you have an hour or so a month to volunteer, here's some excellent opportunities for you to help strengthen our union. So let's start with Jesse and Laura with communications.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jesse. So it's my pleasure to co-chair the Communications Committee with Laura Romero. As newly minted co-chairs, we want to facilitate access to information for CEMA members and also streamline communication with members through our website and various social media avenues. We have ideas on how to accomplish this goal, but also want input from you, our members. If utilizing social media for outreach and organizing is your thing, the Communication Committee wants you. The Communication Committee meets on the first Friday of each month during the lunch hour. We welcome any member who wants to get involved. So just to let you know, this Friday is going to be our first meeting. It'll probably be a short meeting, kind of get to know and see who will join the committee and stuff. So hopefully you can join us. And with this, I'm going to pass this on to Laura Romero, who will now talk about the Court Advisory Committee.
Thank you, Jesse. And just so that everybody knows, the CEMA calendar that's on the CEMA website contains all our meetings, all of our committee meetings. And then I know for the Communications Committee and the Liaison Committee, we do have links posted for those meetings. I think the other chairs will address whether they have links available at the calendar, on the calendar. So I want to talk a little bit about the Court Advisory Committee, CAC for short. The Court Advisory Committee consists of 6 CEMA court members and our business representative Zedfeldman. Our current members are myself, Ravi Ganji, Steve Gall, Georgia Koo, Brandon Kunimura, and Nuala Bates. So CAC is the entity responsible for the salary and benefit gains obtained by all court members. Our most prominent accomplishment is negotiating CEMA's labor contract at time of expiration. In addition to this, we also meet with court administration to discuss issues that impact our members on an ongoing basis. Should any court member have any concerns, you can contact one of our liaisons, or you can communicate with one of our CAC members. And don't hesitate to reach out to us. If there's any contract issues that you think should be brought up at the next negotiation, we want to hear what your suggestions are. So our ears are wide open. We're actually looking for those issues now so we can start planning ahead for our next negotiation. So I am actually passing on to myself. The next committee is for liaison. And so I also, in addition to communications, I chair the liaison committee. And one of the critical roles that this committee plays is connecting our members to CEMA and the services that CEMA provides. We rely on our liaisons to help us welcome new members, to answer basic contract-related questions, and to connect members to our business representatives when involvement is needed. CEMA provides the training and the resources needed to serve as liaison. We meet on the 3rd Friday of each month during the lunch hour, and we encourage you to attend our next meeting to find out more about what we do. We welcome your thoughts and ideas on how we can better advance our goals and serve our members. So don't hesitate to join us. We are going to have a meeting in about 2 weeks, and the link is up on our calendar on the website. Now we'll hear from Mary Beth Rogers, who will tell us about the membership committee.
Hi, everyone. I'm the chair of the membership committee. And I'm excited to chair this committee because reaching out to coworkers regarding the benefits of membership was my favorite part of being a liaison over the past 3 years. CEMA's goal this year is to increase our membership from the current of about 65 to 70% to at least 80% of all eligible employees. This goal is really important because it increases CEMA's clout kind of in the world in general, but especially with the County Board of Supervisors, County HR, and the County Executive's Office. The membership committee is looking for folks interested in reaching out to people who are non-members, and especially people who you might know or might work in your area. This committee is scheduled to meet the last Wednesday of every month from 9:30 to 10:30, although this schedule is flexible as we move forward as a group. If you would like to join the membership committee, you can email me, or you can come to the meeting that is scheduled on the last Friday of this month. And I'm not sure if the link has been uploaded yet into the events calendar, but I am working on getting that loaded up in there. Thank you. And now I'd like to pass it off to Carla, the chair of our Political Action Committee.
Hi there. So together with Jesse and Dolores, I chair this year's Political Action Committee. And if you haven't noticed, it's a great time to get involved politically. Our committee usually meets the 3rd Monday of the month at lunch. In February, we're meeting on the 22nd because of the holiday. So you can join us on the 22nd for a quick call. This is a working committee and your input is welcomed and needed. We have a $95,000 budget for the year. That's right, $95,000. And we will make contributions to both political campaigns and to charitable organizations. We're working hard to increase our membership's political activity and presence in the community and help set the stage for 2022, when there will be 2 Board of Supervisors seats up, as well as sheriff, DA, and assessor. So please join us, and you can email, text, or call me, or go to our website for the link for the meeting. Next up is Lawrence to share more about professional development.
Thanks so much, Carla. It is my great honor to chair the Professional Development Committee, and I would like to give a quick shout out to the wonderful members who make my job so easy as chair. Teresa Chagoya from the Employee Wellness, Donna Mensimer from Roads and Airports, Sandy Monsees from Learning and Employee Development, Dolores Morales, Adult Probation, Vihar Patel, Equal Opportunity, and Robin Rivas Romano from Social Services. Now, as our name implies, our primary mission is to encourage professional development and career advancement for CEMA represented employees through seminars, workshops, and other events. Now, we meet every third Friday at lunch via Zoom right now. Now, with the looming effects of the global pandemic this past year, we were still able to provide our members with quality presentations via Zoom with record participation. Last year, we held a series of CEMA town halls for the contract education. We had a fall web series, including presentations on the current budget with County Budget Director Greg Ituria, retirement separation from the county with Renee Ostrander from CalPERS, and Director of Employee Benefits Rhonda Schmidt. We had county finances with Finance Agency Director Alan Minato, and resilience in a TBD world with the best-selling author Pierre Coand. Now, it's been a very enjoyable and rewarding experience, and I want to thank all of you for all of your continued participation. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions, feel free to reach out to me directly. So now I'd like to turn it over to Jim and Robin to share more about starting our retiree chapter.
Good afternoon, everybody. The retiree chapter is new. It's an idea that the board came up with this year, and we were looking to have people who are going to retire soon or have already retired still be a part of CEMA. So if you're interested, this committee, since it is brand new, we haven't had our first meeting yet, but we will be meeting on the third Tuesday of every month between 2 and 3, and the meeting is on the calendar. Now I'll turn this over for the scholarship committee, which I'm happy to co-chair with Donna Mensimer.
Hi, welcome everyone. I'm Donna Mensimer, and I am proud to be co-chair with Robin Rivas on our scholarship committee. Now, as a recent grad from San Jose State and a parent of a child who went to UC Santa Cruz, the cost to go to college is enormous. So any little bit helps. So I am so proud to represent CEMA and award money. So if you like to give money, we have over $15,000 in scholarships we will be awarding. Our first meeting is set for February 22nd at 2 p.m. This is a really great committee if you have limited time, because it really only has about 3 sessions that we meet on, and then we hand out the money. So if you want to come and show the money, please join Robin and I. We look forward to seeing you there. Now I'm going to go back to our president, Dolores.
Thank you, Donna. How can I follow that? So looking at calendar year 2021, every year our board gets together and review our priorities. So before we actually talk about that, our number one mission is to serve our membership. So that is our primary goal. You are our number one priority, serving our members and representation issues and any issues facing the departments. The second are events such as budget reductions, pandemics, things that we can't necessarily plan for, or some we can, but most of them we can't. And then thirdly, the board looks at the institutional union and some of the things that we need to do for the year. So the first thing that we do is review our any of the outstanding 2020 priorities that were not completed and reevaluate them. This year, our board had 32 priorities. They are divided into 4 main categories. So with communication, things like website, documenting and sharing documents that are can be utilized across the board through many departments. Many departments share a lot of issues and we come across the same thing. So being able to leverage and maximize the knowledge and experience and strategies that we've used. Membership, one of our goals is to strengthen our members and our numbers. As I mentioned, numbers are very important. So we've set out a very ambitious goal for 80% membership. Right now, the courts have us beat at 84%, and we are behind. Membership also includes educating our members to access resources like political assistance through our parent organization. I think the combined efforts of CEMA, local OE3, and our state OE3, we have 3 separate PACs that we can actually contribute to politicians. So being able to inform our members who are running for office who want to get involved in the community or just in any way, if there's resources, we want to make sure that our members are able to access them effectively. As I mentioned, our political agenda, we have several races that are extremely important to us. So we need to make sure that we take this year to strategize and plan and build those necessary relationships or coalitions and plans, like looking at the various polls, seeing what strategies were effective, working with our partners at the Labor Council, looking at political consultants through our parent organization to see how we can maximize our resource and unite our common and shared goals and values with those political races. Infrastructure, since I've been on the board, so I've been on the board since 2000, we've had 8 business representatives. And so, as you all know, or as we can't share how valuable and important our business representatives are. We're super fortunate to have Adam and Zeb, and then we're looking to hire a 3rd business representative. But it's important for us to make sure that our institutional organization has that stability, the training, the philosophy, and the infrastructure to survive anything that comes. So the staffing and the affiliation agreement and being able to not only keep but recruit the necessary skill sets that we need in our business representatives to move our issues forward effectively. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our Vice President, Lawrence Arias, to wrap up with some of the ways that you can support CEMA and stay connected in 2021. Lawrence?
Thank you, Dolores. This past year has been a year of obstacles, challenges, and change. We've said it's been a year of firsts, but thanks to our CEMA family, this has also been one of accomplishments of adaptation, of innovation, and of resilience. So with this global pandemic, we've continued to support the County of Santa Clara and its residents and continue to provide essential services. CEMA, the Executive Board, and the CEMA OE3 staff are all dedicated to providing you the same level of service, pandemic notwithstanding. We fought for the best contract, the best visit program, the voluntary separation incentive program, continued to represent our members, continued services and benefits, and disseminated information to all of our members. But we couldn't do this without your support, without your visibility. So keep showing up that CEMA attire and swag. Now, for some ways to connect right now, please check us out on our social media, on Facebook, on Instagram and Twitter, #CEMAProud. Make sure to sign up on our members portal at secema.org. We encourage you to stay informed, stay vigilant, and to stay strong. We encourage you to keep engaged and to keep united. Keep CEMA proud. Thank you. Now, we still have a bit of time for questions, so I'd like to go to Donna to see if there are any questions in the chat. Donna?
All right, we have a common theme. I think this goes to Adam and Zeb. There are 3 questions, and I'm assuming the nurses arbitration, they're referring to the lump sum for CEMA RNs. Mm-hmm. And that came from Tammy, Ray, and Carlos.
Yeah, I can answer that. It's something we've been talking about at the recent site meetings, and I think a couple e-blasts went out. So we had the second day of the arbitration was on January 15th. And I think it went very well. I think Zeb would agree with that. He sat in through it again. And Donna was actually our second witness that day. Donna did very well. So thanks to Donna. She was also a member of the bargaining team. That's why she ended up on the stand. At the end of the hearing, both sides had 2 options. You can either give a closing statement in person or you can submit a final brief. Given that there was so much time between day 1 and day 2 of the arbitration, day 2 was back on December 1st. And given that the county presented on day 2 and we didn't really present, we just had some cross-examination and rebuttal witnesses, decided that it would be better for us to elect for a closing brief rather than closing statement. We didn't want the county's arguments freshest in the arbitrator's mind. So final briefs are due, we ended up on a month after the date of the arbitration. So that would be February 15th. So I am working diligently on that final brief right now. Zeb's providing some assistance as well, reminding me that brevity is not just the soul of wit, but also will not piss off the arbitrator. But yeah, I think we're very optimistic about it. I think the county just didn't address several of the main points we made on day 1, which makes us feel that our case continues to remain very strong, but we'll hear back from the arbitrator after submitting our final brief. And again, the remedy we asked for, of course, was full payment of the lump sum to all of our nursing classifications plus appropriate interest. So hopefully we have news in the next couple months for folks. There shouldn't be any reason it takes the arbitrator more than a month to render the decision.
All right.
So,
Well, thank you.
Thank you for that, Adam. I just wanted to add a little bit. Adam did an excellent job. He sat first chair, which means that he basically put on the case on behalf of all CEMA members in front of the arbitrator. While I know the nurses asking specifically about this are very familiar with it, I want to assure all members that this is an important enforcement of our contract generally. So even though you may not be a nurse, what this is about is almost everyone on this call got the lump sum. Right? If you remember when we signed, some of us called it a signing bonus, some of us called it a lump sum. It was because we agreed to the contract. The nurses did not. Language is clear, so we need to enforce this. Even though you may not be a nurse, whenever we enforce and succeed, even if we don't succeed, I'm confident we will, as Adam is, we force the employer to respond, and it's absolutely critical that we enforce and keep our contract whole. So even if you're not a nurse, if we prevail on this, it gives us that much more power and credibility the next time we escalate a grievance to arbitration. So I just want to provide that context for everyone. Thank you, Adam. You're doing a great job.
Thank you very much. The next question was regarding our website. So our website recently was updated. We are still in the process, so we apologize if it looks like there's some construction areas. However, because it is a new website, you do need to re-register if you have not done so before. The new website does allow you to reset your own password, which I'm sure Nancy's very happy about, and the rest of us who are managing it, and also communications, because they would have been stuck with that. So if you have not registered, please make sure you go on there. You log in, and there's a spot that says login, and right underneath there's a little button that says register. Click that button. It'll walk you through everything. It's your 5-digit employee number is what it's asking for. You set up everything else, you submit it, and then we go through and authorize and make sure that you are a current dues paying members, as you are the only one with access to this page. So if you are not a dues paying member, you will not be granted approval to enter that website. The next question came regarding scholarships, so I get to answer that one, which was a great question. Somebody asked if they're going to school as a CEMA member, do they qualify? Right now, the county has a very generous tuition reimbursement policy as negotiated in our new contract. So if you haven't already, check out the tuition reimbursements. If you go to SCC.gov, you type in tuition reimbursement, it brings you right to ESA's page. You can apply, do everything online. It's a very easy process. You submit all your records and you get reimbursement. And it actually, if you're going to San Jose State, as I did, it pays basically for about half of each year. And then the scholarships are open for all current dues paying members who have been dues paying members for 1 year, their children. So that's what the scholarship is for. The last question that we had was, how do I get CEMA attire and swag? Well, I hope you have a liaison at your department, and if you don't, you might want to become one, because you get first dibs on all the swag, and then you can basically get everyone to come in. If you don't have a liaison, please make sure you can email info@sccema.org, and we will make sure we get you hooked up with your attire. If you have a board member that happens to be in your department, reach out to them directly and we can get you hooked up, as the office is closed at this time, and there's really no way to have you go to the office to pick that stuff up. Let's see, we got a kudos for great presentation. We posted our YouTube page. So I think those are all the questions that we have so far. I will turn it back to, let's see here, Dolores.
We were expecting a lot more questions.
I know.
A lot more questions. Well, this is wonderful. If you have any feedback on the presentation, or if you need anything, please feel free to reach liaisons, any of your board members, of course, our business representatives. Nancy usually gets a lot of the emails. We're here to serve you. We know that we're going through a difficult time right now with budget reductions in the pandemic. Let us know how we're able to serve you, and we're more than happy to do so. With that, we can wrap up early. So you have 15 minutes back of your, oh no, never mind. Spoke too soon.
Upcoming events. Let me
Oh,
share my
upcoming
screen.
events.
Okay, we have upcoming events. So if you actually have successfully logged on to our wonderful website, there is a calendars page. You go to members, event calendars, and you will see all of our meetings are posted on here. So let's say you want to go to the CEMA Executive Board meeting. You click on that link and it brings you up and it shows you the Zoom link where you can come in and join us. And we would love to have you join. Sometimes, you know, it's only 11 of us and we get a little lonely. And we would love to hear your voice. That's what we're there for. You guys elected us. We want to be there to represent everything that you have. If you have questions or you're having an issue finding something, again, email info@sccema.org, and we look at those all the time, and we can make sure that if there's a Zoom link missing or you're looking for a committee and can't find it, we can definitely hook you up that way. So make sure you register at www.sccema.org. You'll get all set up, and then you'll find all our information, contracts, bylaws, calendar events. Our committees will eventually be up here, so it's a great site. So back to you, Dolores.
Thank you, Donna. What would I do without you? Donna keeps us on track with everything. So I want to thank, special thanks to Carla and to all of our executive board members, and of course, Zeb, Adam, and Nancy for pretty much doing the majority of the work for our union. So have a wonderful day. And of course, please feel free to reach out to any one of us if you need any type of help or have recommendations. Have a lovely day.
Please stay safe.
Thank you all.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.